Hi all, this is part 9, series of 9 videos, and this is the last video. And here we will use the GCP Cloud and Ubuntu 18.04 OS. Here we will create a demo on CICD pipeline using Git, Jenkins, Maven, Docker, Ansible, and Kubernetes on GCP Cloud. Actually, in our last video in part 8, we have created the Kubernetes cluster. Same cluster we will use over here. That cluster in last video, I have shown you how to create this Kubernetes cluster using kops, right? So you can see here, I will show you my Google console. You can see here we have a three servers here. You can see this is first one is the master node and two servers as a node system worker node, right? And this is the K8 management server. Is basically I've used this server for creating, running, installing all those kops, and I will install this cluster using this server. So I've already logged in on that server, K8 management server. In the last video, I've shown you already. Here you can see kubectl get nodes. Every command is running from here. We have two nodes. You can see same name we are getting over here in the Google console, right? See, same two names. So already we have a 4 system running here, and we have an environment, and I will show you here kubectl get all. We don't have any things installed over here. This is a default service is running in this cluster, right? So here we have a ready for the cluster, but we need to do all those things over here, right? Create a pipeline. So this is the flow which we will use here. User will check in the code with the GitHub, and Jenkins will create the build using the Maven, and that we will use here Ansible, where Ansible will create the 2 playbooks. And first playbook, it will create the Docker image and push this Docker image to the Docker Hub. And in the second playbook, we will pull this Docker image from the Docker Hub and deploy those image to the Kubernetes cluster. This is same cluster which I created earlier in the last video. So we will see what is the agenda for this. In the agenda here, we will create some users, and we will create some Java installer. Actually, here in GCP Cloud, we will create one system over here. We will create one system for Jenkins and one system for Ansible. And we have already 4 servers for Kubernetes because we've created in last video, right? One for the master node, two for the worker node, one is the management console. So total we have a 6 system we will use here. So this 4 system already created in our last video. Now we will create here this 2 more servers on GCP, right? So you can see here in the we will create the users first step on 2 servers and install the Java, then install the Maven on the first server. So here you can see for this thing we will use do for the first server. We will install Jenkins and we will install Jenkins plugins. And second system we will install the Ansible, and we will create passwordless. This is our second system, Ansible. And here Ansible we will install also Docker. Okay, and we will create the passwordless connectivity between Ansible and localhost, Jenkins and Kubernetes, and Ansible and Kubernetes. Because our Ansible is a configuration management system where it will deploy with multiple systems. Here our target system is Kubernetes. So we need to create the passwordless connection between the Ansible and Kubernetes. And also we need to create the connection between Jenkins and Ansible. So you can see here this Jenkins and Kubernetes. This step is the optional step. We are using here we can do this step in two ways. First way, we can create a connection with Jenkins and Kubernetes. Uh, Actually, what we are doing, our intention is here to pass all those playbooks, all the deployment files from GitHub to the Kubernetes directly using the script, this through Jenkins. Or other way, if you don't want to use this one, this step, then you can go directly and create the files over the Kubernetes master server. This is two ways for doing this step, right? After that, we will take details of the GitHub repository, and here we will create two jobs. First, for the CI job, where Jenkins will create the build, and here uh, Jenkins CD job. So what we will do here this Ansible will take the war file and create the images, and also it will deploy the images to the Kubernetes, right? So first step, we will discuss detailed discussion in the our demo also, and after that we will link this both jobs together. And when CI the job will run, then again, after completion, successfully completion, the CD job will run. So we will do it manually, but after configuration done is manually, we will using the webhook configuration and do it automatically. It means when user will change the code and it will directly reflect on the Kubernetes cluster and application will change, right? So we will see all those things in our demo today. At the high level, you can see we will create user on the both Jenkins and the Ansible instance. Then we will go install the Java on the both system again, Ansible and Jenkins. Then we will install Maven next, and we will install Jenkins on the Jenkins instance. Then install some plugins because we required only 4 plugins in this demo: GitHub, Maven Invoker, Maven Integration, and Publish over SSS. After that, we will install Ansible on the second system. After install Ansible, we will install the Docker in the same system because in the Ansible server, we will create the Docker image. So the Docker installation is required. So we need to create the passwordless connection between Ansible localhost and Jenkins and Kubernetes, right? And then we need to create a password connection between the Ansible and K8 management server. This is optional thing, optional. You can copy code directly to write code directly to the management server, or you can use this connection, right? So uh, we will see this is our GitHub repository, and we will create a two job, Jenkins CI and CD job. We will explain you in the demo, and we will link and test it. I mentioned all those codes which we'll use here, all those playbooks, and Kubernetes viable file is there, right? Then this is our webhook configuration. I will show you later on. So let's start our POC. This POC is based on our Ubuntu system, so we need to create the Ubuntu machines on GCP cloud. So Just open the console. It's already open. We have already 4 systems in the US Center 1A domain, and our quota for this zone is 4 systems. We are already full, so we will create in different domain, different zone, right? So I'm creating the instance. You can see we need to create the two instance. This is a host name. I've already mentioned here Jenkins and Ansible control node, right? And we need to select some other zone. Already we have taken US Central, so we can take US East one or West, anyone we can take. I am taking US East one. Okay. And I'm selecting this N2 system and taking the Ubuntu machine. I'm allowing the traffic and creating the instance. And after that, we need to go and create another system for Ansible. Ansible control node, and I'm selecting US East one, right? And changing machine to N2. Ubuntu OS, I'm selecting at 10.0, allowing the traffic. So for creating, now we need to generate SSS key for creating the user ANS admin on the both server. So for doing this, we need to generate the key using the putty generator. And I'm taking username ANS admin here. And this is our public key. I'm just copying it. You can see, and our BM is created. Oh, oops. Okay, exceeded limit up to, actually our limit is exceeded. So let me try it again for creating the VM. See, 1 minute. I'm first deleting it. Now I'm creating again then. Let me try with N2. We have tried 2 and 8. It is not working. Then we can try with some small CPU, right? We don't have any too small one, and one we can try. I'm trying with the N1 system, 1 CPU and 3.7 because we are getting that quota issue, right? So let me do it here. It is better we can regrade our system. Let me check here. I'm canceling it again. Actually, our this KM management server is running on our 4 CPU. So let me reduce it. So I'm pausing this video. I am reducing this machine type, right? Now you can see here, we have created these 2 nodes. Actually, what I did, I have reduced this, you can see this Kate management server, I've reduced to the 2 CPU. So I got free to 2 more CPU, so I've given 2 CPU to here. Ansible control node, you can see 2 CPU. Actually, we have a quota for 12 core for our free fire. So I've used the 6 system and I've given 2 core to each one. So now I have full my quota, but we don't require any more instance now. So we have created this 2 1 and we have generated this key also. I'm copying this public key and we need to open this instance which you have created, and I am just putting this editing mode, and you can see we don't have any SS key, so we need to go and copy here NS admin, right? And after that I'm just saving it. It will update. Meanwhile, we go on to the slide. You can see I've written here copy public key VM edit mode and in SSH key block, right? So we need to do it for the both servers. Let me do it for it is saved, right? You can see it's saved. Now we need to go in the Ansible control node also, and we need to edit here, right? Now I'm saving it. So after this thing, we have created the user. We need to reset the password of ANS admin, right, in both server. And after reset the password, we need to give the permission of sudo to ANS admin in the next step, right? So it is done now. We have added it. Now we need to connect the both servers here. This is the Jenkins ones, right? And next one, I will open the Ansible. This one is the Ansible, and you know that we have 3 server. This is already logged in with the Kate management server. The Kubernetes cluster already ready, which I have completed in the last part of video. And this one we are creating this 2 servers here for Ansible and Jenkins. You can see here this is Jenkins. We have login. I'm taking sudo, then I am updating the package, right? I'm changing the password for ANS admin here. I'm putting the same password, ANS admin. It is changed. Now we have connected with the Ansible also. Taking sudo. I'm updating the packages first. I'm setting the password for NS admin. Right. Now we need to add this user to the vi sudo, and we need to add it. And we need to add this line, right? I'm doing saving it file saved, right? And doing for this other server also. It's saved, right? Now we have done this step. Now we need to enable the password authentication, yes, because by default it is coming. No, right? You can see here. See, password authentication is showing no, so we are just enabling it on both server, right? This one, right? It's saved, right? Now we can check this thing on the our earlier Kate management server whether it is enabled or not. Let's check on that server also because it is required. You can see here it is also no. So we need to change to yes, right? And I have written in this in the letter stage. I have written already in the PPT. So don't worry, it is there in the PPT. And we have changed the SST, though we need to reset the service for taking the reflect this effect. So we need, I'm running it on the all three servers. So after that, we need to run apt update. I have already run. Now we need to install the Java on the both Jenkins and Ansible nodes. So this is our Jenkins and Ansible. I'm running it, right? And after that, we can check the Java version also. Installing on the both servers, you can see here. You can see Java version, you can see here. In the Ansible node, you can see here Java version, right? Now we have done this step, right? And now we need to install the Maven on the Jenkins machine. So we are going on the Jenkins machine. Jenkins is here. I'm going to the OPT folder. You can see nothing is here, right? I'm taking the tar file. After that, we will extract that tar file. You can see here. See, extract it. Now we need to uh, rename the folder name to Maven. Right? We can done the installation. Now we need to configure the class path. I'm copying here everything. I'm saving it. Now we need to refresh it so that we can get the class path. We can see here. And same way we are getting to M2 path. This is Maven path is set. Now we will install the Maven. Now we need to install the Jenkins on the Jenkins system, right? It's our Jenkins one. Now we need to edit the source.list file directly. We can do it from here. And at the end, we need to add the Jenkins binary. I'm saving it. Right. Now, again, we are updating the package. And after that, we will install the Jenkins, right? It will install, then we will check the services, status of Jenkins services, right? Jenkins installed successfully, we can check if the service is started, right? Now we need to add the Jenkins user to the sudo file, giving the sudo access to the Jenkins users, right? You can see here already we have added here NS admin earlier, so we are adding this one also, Jenkins users, right? Save. Now we need to restart the Jenkins services. It is done, right? Now our system Jenkins is installed. Now we need to access via public IP, right? So I am going to use here our Jenkins, right? So just I am copying the public IP of Jenkins, this one. Sorry, this one, and port number is 8080 port, right? Let me access it. Here also we can access. Let me not require this one. You can see here it is not accessible. We need to check the firewall policy and add here one policy. Create firewall rule. You can see it is not accessible. So we are creating Jenkins, right? All instance in the network, right? I'm taking 0.0.0 open for all. And this is TCP port. We can give 8080 right here. Create this rule. Okay, now go and check this access, try it again. Now it is accessible, right? So just copy it and get the administrator password on the Jenkins, right? No, this is management server, sorry. We need to go to the Jenkins. This is our Jenkins server. We got this password. We need to copy it and paste it here. No, we will not install the configuration. We need to go start Jenkins directly. So we need to change the admin password because we have not done completely the admin configuration. Now we have logged in. Now going to the dashboard. And now we will install, we will go and install, you can see this logged in, and now we will install this plugin. 4 plugins is required, right? So we will go to manage Jenkins and manage plugins, and we will go to available tab, GitHub, first one, and select. Next one is Maven integration and Maven invoker, right? And next plugin is publish over SHS, sorry, publish over SHS. So we have selected 4, and we will do install without restart. So it will install all the supported plugin which are available here. It will take few seconds for installing it. You can see here only 4 we have done, right? Now again we will go here and manage Jenkins. We need to already install the Maven, so we need to configure here Maven. So we will go here and add Maven, and /opt/Maven. This is our path, home path for Maven, right? So I'm applying it and save it. It's done, right? Now you can go in the next slide. We need to install the Ansible on the Ansible instance. So we will go to Ansible instance. Where is our Ansible? I think this one, right? This is our Ansible. You can see here. Installing it, right? Now we can go and install Ansible directly, right? Ansible version. It will take, it is start, right? So version, you can see here already this file is there. etc Ansible host file. So we need to go to this path directly, or you can directly edit the path, right? Host file, and you can see here nothing, all are commented. We need to write down all host and local host, right? What we are doing here, we are creating one group here and putting the local host name, right? You can see here I'm saving it, right? So this configuration is done. Now we need to install the Docker on the Ansible system, because we will create a build Docker image here. You can see Docker version here, right? Installed. Now we will start the Docker service. Now we will check the status. Docker is started, right? In the next slide, we will change the password of user NSAdmin. I think we have already changed it, right? So no need to do it his step. We need to add this admin to the Docker group, NSAdmin. Right, it is added. Now we will create one directory in the CD opt folder. You can see nothing is here, only one default folder is there. So we will create one Kubernetes folder because we will store all those files over here in this folder. So you can see here currently, you can see here it is showing the access or the root for this Kubernetes, but we will use the NSAdmin when we will create the connection for the Jenkins. So we need to give the this owner for this mount point should be folder should be NSAdmin. So we will go and change the ownership. You can see here now it is changed to NSAdmin, right? So we have done this step. Now Ansible server we will create generate the key and create those things with localhost. So still we are login with root, right? Let me log in with NSAdmin. You can see here, right? And where we are in the NS root. We can see here ls minus al shs file is there, right? You can see here dot shs. No keys are there. So we will go and generate the key over here, right? You can see. Now a key is generated. We can see here. We can see two keys are generated, right? See, these two keys are generated over here, right? Now we need to create a passwordless connection with the local host. We need to run this command. It is asking for us, and first time we need to provide the password. Now you can see one key is added to localhost. So we have done from the localhost, right? Because we need to run this playbooks here in the localhost as well as the Kubernetes system. So due to this reason, first we will create the passwordless connection with the local host. Then in the second step, we will create the passwordless connection with the Kubernetes server, right? Now this is the connection Jenkins and Kubernetes. So copy it is doing we are copying the playbooks directly to the K8 management server for running this script. So this is an optional step. You can use this thing or you can go directly copy it, right? So what I am doing first, we will enable password authentication on Kubernetes master server. So we have already done this thing step. We have done it. Now we need to set the password for the admin user, but so admin user, you can see here. I will show you. This is management server. We are login with root, and here this root has access of this cluster currently. So we will use this root user to run that connection with Jenkins. So for this region, we need the password for the root. or other way, we can create a one user here, and we need to give access at the Kubernetes cluster to this namespace, that user, and we need to change the config file in the Kubernetes and give the access for the new user. Then we can use that user. Both way we can do, but this demo is very long, so I'm not going to in that way. I will use this as a root user directly. So we need to reset the password, right? So for this region, I am setting the password here, root. And as admin, I'm setting, and as this password has changed successfully here for this Kate management server, right? It's the admin user. And now we need to go over Jenkins site. Jenkins is already running. So we are already managed Jenkins, you can see here, and configure system. We are going here and we will use the publish over SSS, and we will create one connection over here, right, with Kubernetes. You can see here we are doing here Kubernetes server, right, and you can see public IP of the Kubernetes server, right. So we will go in the console. This is our, you can see this management server IP is this one, right? Public IP. Host name, right? And you can use the password root. And we have already click on the advanced button and check the use password authentication, right? And we have already reset the password in last step. So I am hitting the password here, and I am just test the connection. Let me try it again. We're taking the correct IP, right? 6261. Now we are getting connection, so we need to go and check this step, whether it is working or not in this server. Let me go and check. Password authentication is just, it's enabled here. It's okay. And also we need to access, because we missed one point right here. You can see we are using the root user, right? So for this root user login, we need to permit root login. Yes, that is a step we are missing here, right? So go here and go back again, and you can see here this step. You can see permit root login, this one. So we need to do here see permit, yes, we need to put yes. Permit root login, yes, we need to do it. This one is this step, right? Now I'm saving it, right? And again, we need to reload the service. It is done. Now we will go to the Jenkins and test the connection again. It's taking time. Let me pause this video and fix this issue, and I'll come back after fixing this issue, right? Yeah, actually, we are getting the same issue for the network connectivity. So this is the optional things which we are doing here. We can do it manually. We can copy two playbooks directly to the management server, right, later on. So we are leaving this step now and moving to the next step. We are creating the password connection between the Ansible and Kate management server, right? So earlier we have created the Ansible with localhost. Now we need to create the connection with Kate management server, right? So here, yeah, you can see Ansible user. We will use the ANS admin. In Kubernetes user, we will use the root user, right? So let's log in with the ANS admin user right here. You can see we have already opened that ANS admin, right? And we already logged in with that one, right? Last time we generated the key for the local host. So we will go into SSH site, right? And we will, can see this is the our public key. We will copy this public key to Kate management server, right? So Kate management server, we already log in with the root. You can see here. Uh, this one. This is the root user. Who am I? Right. Root. Right. So what we will do here, we will go to the ls minus al. I'm checking it. .ssh file is there. We will go .ssh file. You can see here authorized key is there, right? So I am just editing it. See here, you can see and paste to the authorized key in Kubernetes master server. So I've already copied this one. This is the public key and copy to the here. This is our management console. You can see here authorized key here, right? You can see. So we have copied here. Now we need to directly go with that command directly in Kubernetes public IP. So this one is we are Ansible server here. At the rate, we need to copy the public IP for the. You can see public IP. Okay, instance. Okay, let me open the instance here. Management console. This is the IP, right? It is asking for that, and you can see here you can directly log into the management server. because you have copy that key, public key to the authorized key in the K8s management server, right? So that password REST connectivity has been done. You can see here we have tested, right? And after testing, this is done. Now next thing is connection between Jenkins and Ansible server, right? So we will go there in the Jenkins configure system publish over SSH. It is already open in the same where we will just change it to, as is better, we can delete and create a new one. This is the add, right? SSH name, right? And now we need to private IP of the Ansible server, right? So we will get private IP for Ansible server from here directly, because this both are the same zone and same VPC, so we can use the private IP directly. And user, we know that this is created earlier with NS admin. I'm going to advance and using the password authentication and giving the password. And now I am testing the connection, right? Success. Now it is connected successfully, right? Both on the same zone and same network, so we are able to access this right directly. Now I am saving it. Now you can see here this is done. Now this is we need to configure Maven home path. We already configure in the Jenkins, right? This is done. Now you can see this is the repository URL. I'm just opening it where our all codes are there. I think this is the same thing, right? You can see. And we can go to the Kubernetes, right? You can see here we have a host file. And here we need to enter the Kubernetes public IP, right? So go there, you can see Kubernetes management console. This is a public IP. I will mention here. I'm editing it. I'm changing this IP to the Kubernetes IP. You can see here we created in host file two groups, Ansible server and Kubernetes. When playbook will run, when we will give the Ansible server, it will run, playbook will run on the local host in the same Ansible server, and we will run on the, give this group and Kubernetes, it will run on the Kubernetes cluster, right? So this host file we will use when we will run the playbook. I will show you that time. Now we updated this file, right? And after that, we can see here, we need to change the management server public IP here. So we have done it. Now we need to open the Docker Hub. This is type of it. Docker Hub credential on the Ansible server. I will show you a Docker Hub URL over here. hub.docker.com, where you can go and log in it. See, this is already login, and this is our image. Updated day ago, we will change this image here, right? This is image name is simple DevOps image, and this is my account login ID, which is showing here. So this is we need to log in from the Ansible system. Go to the Ansible system. I think this is our Ansible system. We need to exit from the management system. This is the here. Let me clear it. We are Ansible system right now. We need to log in with the sudo user, root user, right? This is root, right? So here we need to run the command docker login. It will ask for my credential. You can see login succeed. So when Ansible will create the image here, it will directly push to the using this connection push to the Docker Hub. So this step we have done here. Now we need to create the job. So first we will create the CI job, creating our first job here. And this is Maven project. And we need to configure our GitHub URL here. Source code management GitHub, you can see here. And our branch is main. We are mentioning here main, right? And after that, build is our, we are using clean install and package. So we will put it here, right? And you can see in the post build action, we will take send build attribute over SSS. So you can see here, we already created one connection with Ansible server. It is showing over here. Okay. So Ansible server selected and source file, we can see here. We are using multiple source file. I will show you what we are doing here. You can see here, let me show you. And I want to remove prefix from here. And we want to move this into Kubernetes, OPT Kubernetes. I will show you what I did here, right? So this is in the Ansible system. You can see here, CD, OPT, Kubernetes. Correctly, we don't have anything here, right? So our motive intention is we need to copy all those files, playbooks, and Docker file over here where Ansible system will use it, right? So what is that? Okay, let me enlarge it so I will explain you this thing also here. You can see here we are using in this Kubernetes Docker file first one, and second file is host. So I'm going back to the our image here. You can see this is the host file under the Kubernetes. This host file, I've already explained that we're creating the two groups for Ansible server and Kubernetes. And Ansible, which use this group, it will deploy on the local host, and we'll use this Kubernetes group, it deploy on this Kubernetes cluster, right? And let me open the Docker file also. This Docker file we are using here, you can see we are taking a Tomcat image from the Docker Hub, and we are just copying the var file which we are creating in the Maven. We are moving to the Tomcat home path, root home directory, right? So this is the Docker file here, and other thing you can see here, third file. Sorry. You can see we are creating, doing the create simple DevOps image.yml. So I'm going to explain this file. You can see here, create simple DevOps image.yml here. Here you can see we are using the Ansible server here, right? And you can see here it will create the image. When it will run the image, Docker build command will run and it will create that image, right, using the Docker file. and we will take all those information from here, right? And after that, we will create a tag, because this tag is like username uh, and slash image name, because Docker Hub is taking in the form of this format. After that, we will push Docker Docker that image to Docker Hub using the push command, right? And after doing it, we will remove all those images from the Ansible server using the Docker RMI command. Actually, it will create the Docker Tomcat image and simple DevOps image, and third one is the this tag image. So we will remove all three images from the Ansible server after pushing to the Docker Hub. This is our first step. And ignore error, as we are doing here, ignoring, because first time when we'll run this program, it will not get this images, right? Everything. So it will get any issue, so it will just remove ignore it, right? So this we have done. And next file we can see here, we are using Kubernetes amid deployment GCP.yml and Kubernetes amid services GCP.yml. Two playbooks we are using here. So I will show you two playbooks over here. You can see here, this is deployment file for Kubernetes. You can see here we are using the host. Host is Kubernetes, meant it will deploy on the Kubernetes server, right? We are using the root user. And what we will do here, this playbook will do is we'll go and just deploy one XML file which is already there in the Kubernetes server, this amid deploy.yml, right? And we are earlier we are creating the connection for that, but still that connection is not connected with Jenkins and Kubernetes. So what we'll do, we will create this file to the uh, Kubernetes server directly, right? We'll go in there. There are two ways we can do it. And this is deployment file and service file. We can see here, this is playbook contains same, it is run on Kubernetes with the user root, and it will go and it will apply services.xyml. It will apply means it will go and run this XML file, amid.services.yml. So we need to go and create two files over there, right? So this file we have copied here, and this when this will run, it will go directly to reach to the this folder opt Kubernetes, right? So we have done it, and next step we will go and add more server over here, and this one for the source file. I mean to source means var file. We need to copy on the same path, right? You can see here var file, and I am removing this prefix, and path I am putting here. And we need to execute this playbook. This is our CI portion. What it will do, I will explaining you this thing. You can see here this Ansible playbook will run. It will take the opt Kubernetes host file, which I explained earlier. Host file, I will show you again. Here you can see this host file, Kubernetes host file. It will read out which one it is, Ansible server we need to deploy or Kubernetes. It will check from here host file, and host file, it will take read out this XML file, this playbooks, right? To create simple DevOps image, I'm opening again. I'm opening in the another window so you can understand it, right? I will show you. See, is host we are using the Ansible server, right? You can see Ansible server. It means it will deploy it on the local host. So this playbook will run on the local host, right? And it will create all those things I explained earlier, right? Create the build and delete everything. So, sorry. So we have done this. So we have done these changes, right? And I'm applying and save it. So what will happen when we'll run it manually? It will create the build images and it will push into the Docker images here. Only this step will happen. As I told you in the diagram also, I will show you it again. 134 we have, you can see. In diagram, first this is first playable CI pipe is going on. It will go and take the war file and all those files from the GitHub and create the image and push this to Docker images here, Docker Hub here. This is the first thing we are going. And second job, we will do the second one, this remaining portion, right? We will pull from the Docker Hub and deploy it into Kubernetes, right? So let's run the job, right? Manually. I'm building it. You can see this output is coming. Build is still is in progress and it is downloading the dependency. You can see here it is build success and you can see here transferred 5 files. So go to the Ansible server, we will go and check here. See, earlier it was not there. You can go and check. We got the 5 files and 6 file. Why we got the 6 file? Because it transfer. It is run this one also, this second one. So go and check here Docker images because we are getting any images or not. Still, because after doing actually it is finished, right? So after doing everything, it will delete from the Docker image from the Ansible server. So we are not getting any images here. It means it is successfully, so we are not getting anything here because you have deleted everything. I will show you again. See, after successfully push to the Docker Hub, it will go and RMI delete this all 3 images. So we are not getting here. If you remove this line, then you will get it 3 images over there, right? So let's check on the Docker Hub. It is 1 day ago. Let me check, refresh it. You can see update a minute ago. It is updated, same file, right? So we have done this CI things we have done, and now we need to create another job for CD. So let's go to the PPT. Now we will create the CD job. And this time we will create the freestyle project. And we will copy this GitHub URL. Now we can see, now next step we can add the post build action, send build artifacts over SSS. You can see here, I've created one Kubernetes server which is not working currently. What we are doing here, we are just copying these 2 files to the root directory, right? So so what we will go first and create this to folder directory, right? To file directly. So we need to go here, over here. We are on the root. And We are in the root and we have two folders only, right? You can see it. So here we will go and create two files here. So files name, we can take it from here, multiploit.yml, and we will go here and we will take it file from here, right? So this is multiploit.yml file is here. I'm taking the raw. I'm copying this file. I will explain this file also in a minute. Where is this one, right? See, so I will show what we are doing here. You can see this is deployment file. This is Kubernetes YML file, and content API version and kind is type deployment, and name is Amit deployment. You can see match level Amit DevOps project, and you can see here are two replica. It will create two replica for that, right? And you can see it will take the image, same image which we've created in earlier, right? And image pull policy always means it will create the deploy it every time when it will get even change or not in the image file. So it is always deployed in the Kubernetes, right? So this is our deployment file. So I'm going to save it. Sorry, we have created here, right? Now we need to create the another file. You can see mhservice.yml. So go to the GitHub again. Oh, you can see. I am changing port to 30,000 here, right? You can see this is a Kubernetes file. It contains the kind of service, and it is labeled amid projects, and the type of deployment is load balancer, and also we can use the node port 30,000. So it will run on the port IP load balancer as well as this node port, right? So I will show you that thing also. So let me save it. So you can see here, we have already created these two files over here, and this is showing here, right? So if we have done this step, instead of showing SSL server, we did it directly. Both options are available. Actually, we are getting connectivity issues, so I'm doing it manually, right? So for this Ansible server, we need to execute these two playbooks, right? So what is that? I will explain you in a while. Let me copy it here first. See, you can see this is running this playbook, Ansible playbook. You can see it is taking the host file as I told you earlier. It is host file. It will read this host file, and after that it will go and take the read out the Kubernetes deployment GCP file, right? You can see I showed you earlier, right? Same thing. So here you can see here it is deploy hostage Kubernetes. It means what will happen? It will Kubernetes group is there that it will deploy onto this server, right? And it will using the root user and it will go and run this file. So this Amit deployed that file. We have this copy here. This is already there. The playbook will go and deploy this file, right? And similarly, you can see host opt kubernetes amit services .gcp. You can see here this host is again Kubernetes here. It means you can see here in host file we mentioned the Kubernetes group. It will go and deploy in Kubernetes cluster IP, right? So it will go and run this service.yml file. Amit service.yml. You can see here it is written here. We have copied here this Amit services.yml, right? So let me save it here. Apply and save. Before running it, let me show you something here in Gate Management Console. You can see kubectl get all. You can see nothing is here, right? So we are just going and running it manually, right? Oh, actually we missed out here. You can see this is master. Actually, our this URL you can see it is a main MAIN, right? So we missed out that thing. So no problem. We will go back to the project and configure, and you can see here this is a master, right? So main I'm mentioning here, right? Now I'm applying it and save. So I'm built now again manually. Let's check. Now you can see it will getting from there and it is success, right? It means both file is run. So we just go and check here kubectl get all. You can see it is created one service, a miss service here, load balancer URL. You can see it is created over here, right? And you can see here it is deployed, it is replicas, it is created here. You can see 1 or 2. It is still in 0 to 2 ready state. Let me do it again. It is in progress, right? See, you can see here this deployment created, right? 2 desired, 2 current, and 2 ready. And you can see 697. You can see 2 ports are running here. And this age is 47 seconds ago. You can see age it, right? And you can see here we got the external IP also here. So what we will do here, we will go and access the application via, you can see, let me go here, 8080 web app. See, this is working from the accessing with the load balancer URL, right? This now we will go and check via this node port IP also. So what we need to do here, node port IP. I think before going to showing this, I will show you where we are getting this code, right? I missed out that to show you, right? So it is in the same project. You can go here in same project. You can see here we have a web app project here, root, and you can see here index.jsp is there. So we are creating the build using the Maven for this one. You can see we are getting the same message, but whatever it is here, you can see we are getting the same same message here, right? Now we can access the application in 4 ways because we have one master and 2 worker node. So we can directly access this public IP of this Kubernetes and node port and worker node and node port IP and worker node 2 and node port IP. Or we can directly go and use access to load balancer IP with port 8080, right? Without node port we can access. So we have done this one. So we are accessing with this one, right? So you can see we need to go to the Google platform. What is the IP of the master server? You can see public IP is this one. So we will go here and just run with 30,000, right? /web app. Let's check. It is open, right? We got 30,000 port is already open in my system, right? If it is not working, we can go and open this port in the and second one, you can see here I am taking the node 2 and I'm going to access it here again. Node port 30,000 /web app. Okay, it's done. And you can see our third one, I'm copying public IP here and 31200, sorry, 30,000 /web app. You can see this is here, right? That is okay. We are able to access in 4-way, right? Now we have already created 2 jobs, right? Here, but we need to link together, right? So we will go to the CI side, right? And we'll go to configure. And here you can see we need to add one action for build other project. So when we will take it, you can see here, go to this slide, you can see linking CI and CD jobs, right? So we will, what is our intention here? When CI job we will complete it, then we will run this CD job also and trigger only if the build is stable, right? Then this job will run only when CI's job will complete it successfully, right? So I'm changing it here. And for automatic things, we need to change one more thing here. I am selecting this one because I will use the webhook. So GitHub hook trigger for GITSM pooling. It means whenever any code changes will done in the GitHub, it will automatically run this job. Right? I've changed 2 things over here. So now after let me click on here again. Yeah, now you can see here. Downstream project is coming for CD, and when click on this one, you can see upstream project is showing for the CI, right? So this thing, because these two projects are links now, right? So we have done this thing, and you can go in the slide for this is code. This is the web configuration. We need to go and take the Jenkins public IP, right? This is Jenkins application, or we can go here and take the Jenkins public IP from here, right? And here we need to go to the same project setting over here. I can go settings. Oh, authorist here. So in setting, you can see here webhook URL over here, and I'm editing it. It will ask for the confirm password. We can see we can create a new or copy this, edit it, right? You can copy this whole task to in the payload URL, right? And I'm updating webhook, right? You can see here. This is already confirmed 34,769 right? We can see here same IP I have given here, Jenkins one. So we have done this step, right? You can see this step, both step I have done. Now we need to test it. Now developer will take the code from any machine or any system. So we are taking all those things on the Jenkins system. Oh, it is pinging now. Oh, I don't know what was the issue earlier. It was working now. Control X. Yeah, it is port is open now. I don't know what was the issue that time. Now it is working fine. You can see telnet is working. So I will show you that thing also. Okay, we can do it now. I think so. Let me check. Let me show you again. See, earlier we have tried this one and it was not working, but currently we are able to ping it. So we can go and manage Jenkins configuration over SSS and we can try it for that, right? I will show you. So again, I am copying it from here. I am going to the Jenkins dashboard. Let me show you again. Manage Jenkins. You can see manage Jenkins configuration system, right? You can see here it is showing publish over SSS, right? And here you already created one Ansible connection here. I'm connecting one more connection here for Kubernetes server. You can see public IP of Kubernetes instance. So I will go and take the public IP of this one, right? Okay, management server. And earlier we have tried, right? It was not working. So I will show you what I did in between earlier. I am selecting the password authentication. I'm giving this one. I am just test connection. It is success now, right? So actually, I'm just saving it. I will show you what I did earlier. I didn't change so much. I have just added, changed something in the firewall side. I've added, I've modified one firewall. I will show you what I did. You can see this one, port open. I'm editing it. I've actually opened all instance in the network, all instance in network with source IP anywhere and protocol and port allow all. I did only these changes. So it is working due to this only, right? So what we need to do, we have connected this thing right now. So when we will configure this job in the second job, right? You can see here. Second job, we can use this one, right? So what we need to do in the second job CD, I will show you, tell you everything. I'm configuring it. You can see here we are running this playbooks, and this playbooks using that file. I will show you. This amit deploy.yml and amit service.yml, right? We created earlier, this is manually, but now what we will do, we will not create it manually now, right? So we need to create one more server here, right? I'm just copying this one first. Let me do it. Because this is the second step, right? So we will write on the lower side. You see, okay. Now this is an Ansible server. Now first option we need to do on the Kubernetes server here. So what we will do here, we will copy these two files from the directly from the GitHub, right? And we will remove the prefix, this one, and we will copy this the root folder. That's it. Okay. So if you can see the time 19 and 21, when we will run, it will change, the time will be changed, right? Because we would copy the new files, you can see here. And after that, after copying these files, that file is required in this playbook. So I've write down it in below for that. First it will copy, then run the playbook, right? So I'm applying it. I'm saving it, right? So we have done this thing also, and now what I will do here, we need to go to the Jenkins server, because we are going to deploy it automatically, everything, right? So just copy the code. I am cloning this code, right? In the local system, anywhere we can copy, but I am copying it on the Jenkins system, right? So I'm already in OPT. You can see here, this one's there. So I'm just cloning our project here. You can see we got our project over here, right? So I'm going the path of the index. You can see here index is there. So I'm editing index file from here. It means user is changing the index file, right? So you can see here GCP Ubuntu instance. Am I using CICD pipeline, right? I'm adding some more line here using GCP, right? I'm saving it this file, right? So let's check the Git status. It is showing one file modified, right? So I am committing it directly. -a and -m command, update it. It's done, right? Now you can see here, I'm clearing this screen, right? You can see here, the status is showing one commit we need to do. We need to push it, right? Git push. Before pushing it, I want to show you something here. You can see CD job is run two build here, and CI already run for one build. When we will execute it, automatically it will launch the second build and deploy everything, right? And other thing I will show you here. Uh, you can see in my project here, we have 57 commit, right? So it will change to 57 to 58, right? So now I am starting git push here. It asking for my credential. It is GitHub credential. No, it's done, right? It's committed. Now I am refreshing it first. 58 commit, right? You can see. Now we will go to the our jobs. We can see second job is already started. This is CI job is started. We can see it is transferred 5 file again to the Ansible server. I will show you Ansible server directly. Let me show you Ansible server, and I will show you Docker image. Maybe I will get it this time. You see, we are getting the images. Tomcat image, first one. See, we are getting 3 images here this time. Correct? Got it? And now when it will finish, now if I will refresh it will delete it from here. You can see it deleted from here. This thing. Our first job is done. Now we'll go to the second job, right? Second, here is the third job, right? So it is running, right? And transfer 2 files. You can see here, and it's a success. I will show you. You can see the time zone for this one 12, 19, and 21, right? Let me run it again because it's copied from the GitHub, right? You can see time zone has changed, right? Correct. And also you can see the cluster. Earlier it was running this number 97C deployment set, right? Now we can check it again, right? Now you can see here this 90 D97C, right? D97C is not available. New deployment set is ready is 2.1 and deployment set new 5.4 CCP, and same pod is running over here. See, right? Now you can see here it is deployed on the 3.1.2.2.0.0, right? Because new code has come. Earlier this deployed on 30,000, right? So it is deployed successfully here, right? Let's see, go and check the code over here, right? What happened? Our changes have come directly or not? So first one, this one, still it is showing AWS, but we have changed to the GCP, right? You can see here. See here, you can see GCP Ubuntu instance, and it is running changes. And the backend side, I will show you here in the system here also. I will show you Docker images. Oops, here Docker images are not there. I need to check on the master machine, right? Let's go and log in on the master machine, right? I will show you there. So our master machine is here, this one, right? This one. So I'm going to connect to the master machine, okay? So let's go and run this one, this server also, but it is a port has changed, so it will not work. 312. Let me check this one. So see, it is working. It is changing in the master node also, and worker node we can check again also 312. See, worker node is also changed. Yeah, and other worker node 312 port has changed, right? You can see it is changed, right? So it is connected, right? Now I need to take sudo here, right? Master docker images. No, it is not showing here. Where is our deployed? Okay, admin docker kubectl get ports. Here it is not showing. Okay, so we can check on the management console directly, but it is docker is not start here, right? We are not able to check then. But we can check here kubectl get ports minus void where our port is deployed, right? You can see this is created port 4 minutes ago just, and deployed it in node 2 and wasn't deployed on node 1, right? So you can see that we have used this pipeline and deployed it automatically when the user has just changed the code from the local system and check into the GitHub, and our deployed application has changed. And all those you can see here, Kubernetes, what is done, Kubernetes has changed. All kubectl has changed the deployment and create a new pods and new deployment set over here, right? So that is completed for this demo, and we have done in both way, right? And this is our last demo in the series. And I have tried to explain all this demo in the 3 parts I showed you earlier. In the different parts. I've divided this slide in different parts. Now it is divided, this total series is divided in the 9 parts, and I explain each and everything over here, and I've used the same application deployed in the each part. And this demo included in the both cloud, AWS and GCP. So I hope you understand this demo. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Thanks for joining, and we'll meet you in the future again. Thanks a lot for joining.